Guys, you have to understand one thing. Human nature is human nature. Whether we live in the caves or we live in mansions, human nature is human nature. What's up, my inspired alphas? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I will tell you 4 traits that women crave for in a guy. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Let's jump into it. Number 1, leadership. Guys, don't let these modern women fool you or manipulate you. These women, they might say they are independent, but they need a guy for direction. They need a guy who can make them submit. They need a guy who can lead them. Guys, this is something that women crave because not many guys out here can be leaders. Remember the 80-20% rule. 80% of the guys out here are just average guys. They have not taken the lead to lead their lives. But 20% of the guys are the ones who have decided to grab their life and lead it towards a certain direction. So they are very rare, meaning 100% of the women out here, they all want these 20% guys who can lead them. And these guys, they are selfish. So they don't just pick any woman. They pick the best of the best women. I know you are improving yourself. Ask yourself where you have reached right now. Can you date women who you used to date 2-3 years ago? Their value is so much lower than yours. You will be lowering your value. So women want guys who are leaders because they feel safe. A woman will not feel safe being independent. Guys, you have to understand one thing. Human nature is human nature. Whether we live in the caves or we live in mansions, human nature is human nature. Technology only makes life easier, but does not change the fact that women need men for leadership. Guys, this is human nature. Just as men need women in order for them to feel like they are worth something in this world. Remember, our main objective biologically is to reproduce. You cannot reproduce on your own, whether you are a man or a woman. You need to be, you need a companion. Women will always want a leader. So cultivate that leadership in you by leading your life. Making sure you know what you want out of life. That is very, very attractive to women. Just observe how women treat guys who are in authority. They are attracted to guys who are in authority, who have power, because these guys can lead them. Number 2, women crave a guy who is emotional, who is an emotional rock. A guy who is stoic, a guy who cannot be moved anyhowly by a woman's emotions. Guys, as I've told you, human nature is human nature. Even if a woman tells you, I am independent, a woman is an emotional being. She experiences a lot of emotions throughout the day. She wants a guy who can be in control, who can guide her emotions. Not a guy who, when she's angry, he is angry. When she's happy, he is happy. When she's anxious, he is anxious. A woman wants a strong man. A man who understands himself and is not easily moved by emotions. That is being masculine. Being masculine, guys. If you are an emotional guy, train yourself to be conscious how you respond to your emotions and to other people's emotions. The point is not to control emotions, because human beings are emotional beings. That is how you feel alive. The solution is how you respond to these emotions. If a woman is angry, how do you respond to her anger? If a woman is extremely happy, how do you respond to her happiness? If you're feeling nervous, how do you respond to that nervousness? Will it affect you? Will it impair your judgment? Will you start thinking emotionally like a woman, or will you remain stoic, logically, looking at things and situations as they are, despite your emotions? That is what a woman craves for in a man. An emotionally stable guy. A guy who knows how to respond to women's emotions. And if you know how to respond to her emotion, that means you can lead her. If she's anxious, you can be able to lead her to a better place. If she's fearful, you can lead her to a place where she is confident, because you know how to respond. You understand your emotions, and you know that you cannot react. You take time to process these emotions and understand what is happening, what is really happening. Number 3 is integrity. Guys, women love men who keep their word. If you say you are going to do something, you do it. If you say you will meet at this time, you meet at that time. Like, you get things done. You get things done. You have that principle in you that if I tell you anything, I will stick to your word, to my word, even to yourself. That means that your principles, you stick to your own principles, because you are a man of integrity. You will not let outside forces shake you, because integrity is what determines who you are. If you have values but you cannot keep them, if you cannot stand by your values, then what kind of a man are you? You are a weak man. But if you have values, if you have principles, and you stand by them, no matter the situation, you are going to be so attractive. Just think about James Bond. This is a guy who has principles, and he is willing to die for his principles. If he tells you, I will be there to protect you, he will be there to protect you. I know this is a TV character, but it relates to every single man out here who wants to be the best version of himself, who wants to be attractive to women. You have to be a man of your word, a man of your principles. Guys, you have to be a guy who keeps his word, a guy who is not afraid for any consequences of being who you are. Because if you cannot stand by your principles, that means you are not confident in who you are. But if you are willing to do anything just to remain, I know this is the path that I'm taking, and whatever the situation, I am not going out of that path. That is being a man, and women crave a man who has integrity. Last but not the least, assertive men. Guys, women don't want men who they can walk all over. They want a guy who can put them in their place. They want a guy who can make them submit. Remember, female nature is female nature, and feminine energy is submissive, because there is masculine energy which directs them or leads them. If you cannot be led, that means you cannot be submissive. And if you are assertive, if you are a man, you are assertive, you are not afraid calling her out on shit. When she disrespects you, you put her on her place or in her place. When she does something wrong, you are not afraid to tell her. You are not afraid because you are not afraid of losing her just because she's a woman. You know your value and you know your standards. You know what you will take and what you cannot take. So if she crosses a line, you check her without blinking. You look her in the eye and check her. Guys, women crave men who can assert their dominance. And not just for women, even men. You are not afraid to stand by your boundaries, to stand by your principles. If anyone disrespects you, you put him or her in his or her place. You don't entertain any bullshit. That is being masculine. And this makes women crazy. Because she knows you are not like other men. Other men, they let her walk all over them. But you make sure that you put her on her place. You are telling her that I am the boss. If you are not happy with that, there is the door. But I am not going to let you disrespect me in any form. Hopefully you got value from today's video. Make sure you